Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Get the Bag Mark. I'm here with All In Gaming 23, and we are back here again. Last week we were here for some Akimbo action, and just 1 week later, we are here again. But hey, All In, they've continued on their win streak, and now they have a more than formidable opponent tonight, Lost Hills. They have their work cut out for them, but staying undefeated is the plan. We'll see if they can stick on to it.
Yeah, and right now Lost Hills are 2-1. Their only loss, which I think, if I take a quick look because I didn't have their page pulled up because I'm a silly boy, they lost 13-4 on Overpass. That's actually a pretty dominating loss for them. But other than that, their match prior to that was on Ancient, which they won 13-1. And I mean, we've seen Akimbo play Ancient a few times, specifically once, if I do remember correctly, and they won 13-11. So statistically looking, Lost still on paper have the advantage, but as of right now, it's kind of just a toss-up because I'd say both these teams have these players who could easily make plays that determine how the game comes out.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, these individuals, we can look at these two rosters tonight. Those of Lost Hills will have Vulcan, Brashy, Bunk, Core, and Crit. And then you're going to be having the classic Nox, Florence, Katie, Nice, and Flixie. So, I mean, definitely an interesting crew to match up against. But obviously, those individuals on Akimbo are going to just be insane. And last time, you know, I got to cover with good old Parks over on Anubis. They had a very, very formidable game that ended up going into overtime, which was definitely the furthest any opponent has pushed Akimbo yet so far. And then tonight, they're going to be taking on Lost Hills, so I believe they're going to be hopping into the knife round here in a moment. But All In, looking forward to Ancient. How are you feeling about this map? I know that is the favorite of a lot most recently.
Yeah, it's definitely turned up a lot more in the NA scene, as we've seen Mirage get pushed to the wayside. Thank God, because it's an atrociously orange map. But I think a lot of the win conditions we're going to... Uh-oh, why am I seeing veto votes pop up again? That's never good.
Yeah, that is...
But I think the win conditions we're going to see for Akimbo is the fact that Florence shows up with the op, which he has been very consistent with that op, and I don't think that's really been a struggle for him. And another turning point I is going to say is Katie. Katie is either the game-changing player that she needs to be, or she's just, you know, she's there. Not huge impact, but definitely stays within, you know, positive range, because she's one of those consistent players too. But when she goes off, she controls the server.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, you just talk about, like, her experience alone, even in Valorant a little bit, up there in the Tier 1 level for a brief stint, and I mean, you know, you come back to CS, this is this is a team that has came together off of a little bit of, I don't want to say memes, but it originally does seem like it, you know, when a good group of friends to come together that really have just known each other for so long in the scene, have teamed with a couple of these players along the way, you come together under Nice Esports, right? You got to find a title to run it under, but I mean, you know, they put it into practice. You saw their top 3 finish in Advanced last season, and I mean, right now they're staying undefeated. Akimbo has picked them up. They've given them a home, and I mean, this was one of the rosters that needed it the most because, you know, we just absolutely love these names so much.
Yeah, and I mean, you got the talent on the roster. No reason they shouldn't be picked up by somebody. Flixie, well known in the community as well. I mean, you just have names that have proven themselves throughout the seasons and years, even for a lot of these players who have been consistently at the you know, mid to high end of the Tier 2 scene here in NA. And, you know, some have dabbled into the higher ends there, as we did see, like, Katie kind of have her moment as well. And I think Florence might have been kind of in, like, the upper end of ECL as well for at least a season or two. And are they... I think they changed servers.
Yeah, it looks like we just got moved to Chicago. We were commenting on how we had not seen a Washington, D.C. server be picked yet. And hey, man, I guess that's going to be continuing on. So we're going to throw it to an intermission for just a moment. I don't know if we have to get a new server. Actually, yes, we just saw a mass disconnect right in front of us right now. So we're going to get this figured out for just a second. We're going to be having Ancient come up in no time at all. Don't go anywhere.
When I saw saw you again. I knew I wanted you, but I had to hide it. I had to hide it. 'Cause I have grown strong without you around. I've just gotta fight it. I don't wanna go. Don't wanna fall into your arms again. Don't wanna give you everything I have and see you walk away. Don't wanna fall into your arms again. Don't wanna be reminded of the pain and the love of yesterday. Don't wanna fall into your arms again. Don't wanna be reminded of the pain and the love of yesterday. I will not deny there were good times, but you left me hurting. I was down on the floor when I look in your face. I remember the lies and how you fooled me. I'm not that girl anymore. Don't wanna fall into your arms again. Don't wanna be reminded of the pain and the love of yesterday.
I wish you wouldn't waste it. Took my time, I don't know if I can face it. Didn't know you were gonna go and lace it. Been a shine, I don't know if I can make it. No, it's all good, I don't really see the issue. Feeling myself, I don't text you when I miss you. Baby, no, I didn't mean to diss you. Now I'm not saying I don't think that I'm an issue. Thinking about the brighter days, moving on, and I'm riding on another wave, yeah. Don't be looking at me differently. Come along when you're done with all your situations. I got nothing else I can do. Damn, I guess I'll never learn. Realize all my wishes never came true. Find out you got nothing in return. It wasn't meant to last such a long time ago. Business from the past got me going psycho. Time's moving fast, walking on a tightrope. Running away from you, gotta think I gotta let you go. Our love is so toxic, and it makes me sick to my stomach. Comes and goes like it's nothing. Back to you, I can't fight it. It's all good, I don't really see the issue. Feeling myself, I don't text you when I miss you. Babe, no, I didn't mean to diss you. Nothing I'll say, I don't think that I'm an issue. Thinking about the brighter days, moving on, and I'm riding on another wave, yeah. Don't be looking at me differently. Come along when you're done with all your situations.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wait is no longer. Akimbo, Lost Hills here on Ancient. I'm with All In Gaming. My name is Get the Bag Mark. We are excited to get into this best of one. We're getting right into the pistol round right now. Akimbo, starting on that defensive side.
Yeah, we're going to see a decent buy coming through for the CT sides. The double dollies, which has been pretty consistent, but these T's are going to make their way in towards Jaguar, but diving down towards mid. Kind of a split here as they're making it in towards this A. It's going to be Nist first contact here with the dollies. Core finds the first one. Vulcan with a quick, making a double on his end, and they quickly clear the site. And it is sadly a 2-1-5 almost immediately.
Oh my goodness, just knocked right out by Core. Everybody knocking at the door. It is Vulcan that opened up the site with that 2K, but it is the 3 to come out from Core. Lost Hills, that is a very nice start.
Yeah, a lot of times you do see most teams try and contest for mid, but instead they just opted out and just held W, which again, I think I've said this nearly every cast I've worked with, is the meta for CS currently, is movement meta. Just hold W. Accuracy seems to be mildly affected at best, so Glocks have been absolutely strong, and holding an angle with USPs is nearly detrimental to your health.
Certainly so. Now you're just going to be left upon those USPs, not really doing anything too crazy. You know, we've kind of talked to a couple of these players a couple times, and one of the questions I really like to ask these guys about CS2 and the MR12 is really how you are putting to use even these little rounds on the USPs, because, you know, usually it's just this result, right? You're just blown out of the water there by Brashy. That is just violent, but maybe you get a couple like this, right? Maybe leverage in the middle a little bit, get a timing, and I mean, you'll try and get all that you can, and honestly, 2 ain't that bad.
Yeah, maybe a little more if you get a dink in here. I mean, you get to save a Mac 10, which, I mean, looking at the money, Noxio could probably put the use there at $1,900. I mean, so if you can save this, great for them. If you can actually take away an AK, which, I mean, we do see 1.5 HP, but you might have to contest with Vulcan, who does have 100 HP and is pretty crispy with the AK.
Oh yeah, Vulcan's going to be all over that. That's a nice kill. I mean, I don't think Flixie is kicking himself about dying there with the Mac 10. It's all about trying to get that damage. Maybe would have liked to have another chance at that fight, but a difficult one at that. Lost Hills, they double up and find that second and all in. When you are getting up these guns right now, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer for that Florence op. And, you know, when you're in this situation, obviously getting up in this first gun round, you're not going to have everything you need. Where are you going to try and just get this advantage? Is it through maybe playing a little bit more aggressively or just playing that much more back?
I think a lot of it's going to come down to a mid control. I mean, mid quick rotates either side, which then you can control the map, but they're going to make their way up in towards ramp. Noxio gets the first kill towards 4. Looks for more. Gets on Brashy as well. Noxio, a quick double here. Might have to pop a reload, but instead chooses to stick himself in the corner with Florence posted up with a flash, ready for him to make a contact play.
Molly up the ramp. 2 players here trying to get back in. Nox has put that smoke down, flash through, and a bit of a nade onto that rifler. Just knocked down to 32. But still a little bit of attention by this. Outside of B is going to be a very, very contentious point. Vulcan may try to reopen it back up here through Cave, but Nice is on a really, really good spot. And just in this timing, you will get that headshot, but now you will not expect a second.
Yeah, quick trades there. Good trade, but still down 2 players here. It's going to be Noxio, low health. Doesn't really want to push for too much. Katie finds that kill in towards lower mid. It is Crispy to get the trade and quickly clears it. It's down into a 1-on-2. Plenty of time for him to plant this bomb as well. Low HP, 19 to be exact. And we are going to see Flixie now smoked off, choosing to make his way out from Jaguar as Katie waits patiently. 30 seconds, plenty of time, letting Flixie rotate their way back in. And you wouldn't assume he would rotate this with full control over sight anyway.
Would have to be an ace clutch. Kritzby is going to get those digits punched in. Now is going to have to play around the smoke, make his own angles. But now they will just almost line up. Almost would go the other way, but really, Akimbo Esports, they are not going to let that opportunity go the waste. They're going to secure that round. Ace clutch would have had to come out, but very, very good try. They're going to have the bonus up anyway, Lost Hills, so they're good for it.
Yeah, and that's a great round for Akimbo to start pulling their way through, trying to maybe tie this one up here. We are going to see the T's coming with a pretty solid buy. It's going to be an opless buy, but it will be a buy, as we might see somebody have to take a little bit of a downgrade. But other than that, I mean, this now is a good chance for the CT side to start building up a little bit of extra cash here. You can never have enough when it comes to CT side, especially being kind of an op-centric map, as we're going to see Florence 9 out of 10 times most likely have that op in his hand.
No, definitely an op-centric map. I mean, really, it's a bit different scenarios from what you're used to. There's a lot of, you know, different uses for it. You can have your opper hold A alone. You can bring it over towards B. Middle control is an obvious place to put it, right? So really just being able to move your chips across the board really at the right times is going to be one of the most important traits for any successful team on this map. But also just getting through on the spams. The little free cheeky things are also going to get you a little bit of an edge, and that is 50 HP taken off of Kritsby.
Yeah, but we are going to see kind of a retake setup on this A, putting a lot of pressure on Katie in Donut to either hold or potentially try and retake or stop a plant quickly. As we see, is going to be Bunkin bit. What? I'm just going to call him Bunk. Bunk trying to make his way in through mid here, maybe to contest with Katie, holding that little deep off angle inside of Donuts.
Oh,
while
he's
the
got
rest
this.
Of the team,
Ooh.
oh, the timing is rough. As Flixie thought he had full control over mid, but it was all a lie. Krisby on the lurk as well. Could come up with a decent backstab on at least one player here.
Yeah, and will just try and thread the needle like that. Lost Hills, this is a very, very good opportunity, and all came through just seeing the suppressor across the wall, right? Bunk has done the job, and now there is another kill that goes the way. Nice gets one, but immediately traded back, and this is what we have been waiting for. Kritsby to come knocking at the door, and Nox, he answers the call, does shut that down for just a moment, but now the swing will come in. Lost Hills not shying away from it. They want their third, and they want to keep this going on their T side.
Yeah, we see what Lost Hills early trying to do, trying to train Akimbo to stack more into that B site, put a little more presence and pressure towards it, kind of just, once again, leaving Katie by herself in that donut position, which is a strong position, but if, you know, there's a lot of angles in mid that Flixie can't necessarily hold, and you can just sometimes crouch under his viewpoints.
Now back up with those upgraded pistols. P2 fitty out on Florence and Nox, but we're going to see if they're able to get right up to that 2 or 3 kill mark that we did see them really have that success on, boosting multiple players up. Very heavy outside of B right now. Core is going to be wrapping back into middle. No, there's got to be a player in that cubby. They knew about that control earlier in the round that just had to come out lightly from those pistols. So just a Garushin, and when it's going to be timed, looks to be nooked right into Cheetah, but there it's caught right from A.
Well, Noxio might get the timing here, get some shots from towards Vulcan, but it is going to be one of 2 players left alive as Vulcan pulls out the pistol, gets the kill. Florence maybe can find himself an X or 2. I mean, the blast radius nowadays good enough where if you just do a little bit of damage, but I guess it matters not, and that is going to be 4-1 currently. The money has enough for a buy here for Akimbo, but still not great, as they may not get everything they want. Point in case Florence. This goes Glass Cannon.
Some would say he's Kojo mowing all in. Sometimes you gotta call upon the spirits. Obviously, we were talking to Florence last time in the interview. It was a little bit of a more complicated Anubis that we saw the Opera experience, so wasn't able to put up those big numbers, but did his job. Big picks across the board, and now needs to get that same ball rolling here on Ancient.
I mean, if anyone's going to go Glass Cannon, it's going to be Florence. The man's more than capable to at least get one with that big green gun, as we do see a little bit of a split going on in Florence. Solo hold in A, but the quick rotates from 2 players in mid could be quick here. Oh, Florence could get the timing, but
wow,
holding the wrong angle there. Gets absolutely crouch peek from the corner. Katie close by in that donut position again. Might have a good timing, but can't. Krisby finds 2 on the board. Flixie breaks the smoke line. Does some good damage, though, to Vulcan, the planner, spraying through. Now down to just 19 HP.
And, you know, all in, before the game, we talked about this possible upset that could be happening. Lost Hills, they're checking all the marks for it. Just winning individual battles. This is where Akimbo, they're going to have that leg up on you to begin with, right? But now, Akimbo, they're going to have to fall back on this practice, these procedures that they have in place on this map. They're going to have to go deep into the playbook.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing Lost Hills really starting to run away with it currently. 5-1. Again, shorter maps mean every round is so much more important, especially as starting out CT side. You need that momentum, you need the money. Or fall, so he is going to maybe be able to get himself an AK, and Krisby dies the bomb, which could be good overall. Noxio going to be able to get away with one. But again, back to my point, the rounds are so important. You need that early start no matter which side. But more again, CT side is always just a harder spot to deal with. And with the current meta, T's just kind of have the advantage overall.
Yeah, and I mean, this ancient side, they're not going to be any stranger to it. I mean, you can even look to a map like Anubis, where you're going to have another slightly T-sided map, just, you know, maybe closely added to the pool. And I mean, that attitude will be there. Akimbo were a team that had to face that comeback in their previous game because they got down a little bit. And when they weren't able to come around, it got really complicated, but they were able to push it to overtime and maybe facing the same challenge today.
Yeah, and currently just trying to break the economy of this T side as Core runs through, gets one, and Noxio tapping, making sure he secures one more. Rashi playing the other side at smoke, but this is going to be kind of an open B site as Noxio walking his way up into caves here. Might be able to put up a little bit of a defense with this FAMAS.
Rotations will come over, barreling up that ramp. You're going to be seeing really just this complication around the plant, but now it's got to come in. It's got to be forced, but you're still down a man in this. But now you've got that clock ticking, and now you're out before you can see who's shooting you. Down a man, 2v4, up still a foot for Vulcan, but it's going to have to be the AK that does the heavy lifting. Now into 1v3, but there is Katie, the one we know and love, doubling up with those headshots to put Akimbo back into the winning ways, getting their second.
Yeah, and this roster that Akimbo has, like, they're the team that they have, you know, multiple people that can step up in situations. You have Noxio, Katie, Flixie, Florence, Nis. Doesn't matter who it is, you can kind of rely on them to, you know, maybe get 2, maybe 3 kills, change the pace around, and maybe now you can start seeing some momentum build up. Currently, it's still up in the air, but this is a good possible round for them to build up the momentum needed to start, you know, closing this gap a little bit. Only down 3 rounds. It's never done. It's never really over with. As long as, you know, a famous man once said, I think I quoted this once a game as well, all you need is 4.
And I mean, that even rings more true in the MR12, right? I mean, you can really just come back from any point, but it's really just going to be that much more difficult. Nice is going to open up with 2 huge openers right there, setting the tone outside to B. They are going to be fearing Cave, but at least going to have to put an extra thought into it in a future round. But right now, Akimbo, now they just have to play with the lead.
Yep, 2-man advantage. You're going to see a lot of passive holds now from this Akimbo side here. Katie spots out an Omper. Even decides to repeat. Ballsy situation there is now they're going to trade spots with the man with the gun himself, Florence, as he now looks to take a peek down mid. He sees 2 out of the 3 players left on this T side. You know, don't want to go into one-on-one fights. He is going to get smoked off, and they are going to have some solid mid control. But Katie again posted up in Donut.
Core just still outside of B right now. Working up middle is the rest of the squad, but at this point, you're just trying to stay alive and do what you can. I don't know if you're even really considering staying alive in this round. You have such little money, but right now, Katie's just going to be able to at least get a rotation in from a teammate to help on these angles. But, a second person spotted. Bunkin on the op is going to have to know about Katie. Takes care of business, but now Core has opened up the door at B. Knocks. It's a labored spray, but he does find it. Flixie, 1v1, clean headshot onto the opera, and that will be a third, 2 in a row for Akimbo.
2 in a row, potentially resetting the economy. We could just see a hero AK coming here from Brashy, while the rest around 2 to 3K. This might be a force or it could be a save, depending on really how they want to play this. But currently with the lead they have, I think they're just going to kind of play this one safe, put the minimal investment, kind of gamble more on towards the plant. You know, upgraded pistols and some armor, always a good buy on the T side.
Can't go wrong. Hero AK up as well on Brashy, full set. Let's see him how they get set through the molly, trying to get ahead. Core will not on the Deagle, but the train outside of B, it is halted for just a moment, but maybe they reconsider.
Yeah, something we saw in spawn due to the spawn right there in the water. It's kind of hard to see pistols sometimes, as Bunk was looking for a good 10 to 15 seconds for his Tech 9 that was dropped, and
that's brutal.
which kind of delayed the push and, maybe their potential success in the round. But again, with this Hero AK Tech 9 mix thrown into this, Flixie might have his work cut out for him with only a flash in his pocket. Not too much to defend against, a push like this.
Yeah, Valve needs to get a new pool guy. That water and overpass is pretty disgusting as well. But hey, man, we're over here to the drier site out on A, and it may just be that thrown right in and jumbled around. Bunkin is going to get this plant, maybe. I can't believe this is actually going to come through. Vulcan on the AK could actually put up a decent defense, but it actually is just the Tech 9 to get one, but not much more. Akimbo, they continue on.
For what they invested in the situation they had, that's a pretty good buy for them. And the fact, now that Akimbo has 3 alive, we're going to see a slightly more stable economy. Again, CT side, never actually stable. Pretty much me in my teen years, it's just kind of a gamble, whether you wake up and it's a good day or not. So with this buy, 6K on somebody's player, 4 on the other, still a solid buy, still a decent chunk of change left in their pockets. The T side, though, with their buy, it's still going to be borderline reset if they lose this one, even with this max loss potentially coming through. Why do I always have to do the pot fiend? Why is it always me?
We can maybe make this happen. Oh boy. Shout out to the Snake's Den game. I guess the boys.
That must have been quick.
Yeah, it must have speedran it over there. We're still in the first half, and it is going back and forth. Brashy coming here into middle. Katie will remove. Round number 10 is already getting into the groove. There is that opening kill for the defense, looking to tie us back up, but Vulcan's got other ideas. Sneaking up the ramp while being very loud, going to have exposed maybe his thoughts, but really, Lost Hills, they are really mixed up across the board.
Once a good nade, Vulcan giving away his position to Florence. It's AK out, and Noxio hesitates on the spray there, but it does control it. Now it's going to be a 3-on-2. Bomb is starting to make its way back towards B long, as we're going to see Ness walk down this ramp, and he might get the time here on core, and he does. He spots the head.
Sees a hedge.
Both of them actually sprays one, puts him on 20 HP. He does get dinked in the process, going to retreat back, and he's just going to try and run it out here. The Molly's going to push him out to 9 HP, and the round done, gone, comeback complete. We're all tied up.
Wow. Wow, oh wow. Katie in middle right there. Dare call it your MVP in the round. Very, very good stuff that I've seen from Akimbo in these last 5 to really just get themselves back into this game. Now, you're literally all tied up, but going into your T side right now at this scoreline, things could be looking very much up.
Yeah, we're seeing a full buy on 2 of these players here. It's going to be the Hero AK on Vulcan and a Hero Mac 10 on Bunk, as they're going straight for the mid control. Katie jump spotting, almost getting her head torn off, but does get the information needed. Quick rotation around. Flixie post up with the double up, but Katie, of course, finding the first kill. But it's going to be a top red control here. Vulcan finding 1. Florence getting a trade, and it's down to just 1 player. So quick, 30 seconds in the round, and it's almost over.
Just that 1 deagle up. And it's only a matter of time hanging out in Donut for Crispy. But Akimbo looking like there. Oh my goodness. See ya, Flixie, just for 1 moment. And plenty of time here for Crispy to try and get this thing going. Bomb is in the hands of Akimbo. But wanted to survive, getting those deagle shots. Who could blame him?
He might just try and work his way up towards that op again with 2 players force buying their way in. It wouldn't be the worst thing for him just to get a rifle or something to make it all worthwhile. He can't have the bomb. It's obviously locked out of his hands. 35 seconds on here. Crispy either is going to player hunt or just go for that op that he knows is there. He's going to scoop it up, and he might be able to even find Katie. Katie playing that deep off angle in towards CT spawn might not get fully cleared.
Just working the way around. Katie in a very nice position. Has been so very patient to this point, but Crispy is going to be able to hang on to this big green. That's going to be a very, very nice find. Probably better than anybody expected, but there you go. Crispy actually found in the end, and that's got to be a disappointing end.
Yeah, all that time, and now they won all those rounds straight. Well, kind of they won 5 rounds straight, but now you're seeing Akimbo go on a tear of their own, winning 5 rounds straight, and potentially having themselves a hell of a first half here as we come into the last round. Either this could end up tied up or up 2, depending on how this, but we're looking at the money. It is going to be an opless round for the T's again, while it's going to be a double op for Akimbo.
Oh, and those nades down the ramp, they're going to be hitting Vulcan hard. But now Bunkin, he's going to want to respond. Florence in line for it, does get the trade. And we're off into a 4v4 with barely 25 off the clock.
As they're now forced away from that B control, we do see Vulcan attempting to now get back. Might be able to catch off Katie. Peeks in, perfectly timed, catching her looking the other way. It's now put in the opposite side. It's Flixie to find his one. Repositioning here. Here's the player start running out. Might get a good timing here. Can't get the shot through. Actually, did he leg him? As
what?
Nist. Oh, his team damage. I don't even know what's going on here as the lurk through mid comes through. Nist finds one. There's 130 behind him. And clutches it up for the triple.
That would hype me up, all right. That's how you send it into the half. That is how you complete the comeback. 7-5. Oh my goodness, all in. Nis had it all to do right there. And just spinning around is gonna have to be what you gotta do to secure the round. That is actually unbelievable. It looked like it was all lost. Too hectic for even us to keep up with, but no kidding. You need that attack pause. I think all of us need a breather.
Yeah, I do. I almost punched my screen. I was not expecting
reasonable reaction, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, it was pure reaction. I think it was Flixie who got caught out as he was rotating back towards A. Nis having to clear the first planner, realizing the last player is going to be directly behind him, turning around, and just knowing he's going to get swung, starts the pre-fire early, gets that initial shot landing, sets the pace, wins the fight, and that is how you clutch.
That is how you clutch, but now we got to know how you're going to deal in the pistol round. Obviously, Lost Hills, they came out swinging in their T opportunity, but now Akimbo, they got to set the record straight. They're on the favored side now, and they got to flex their muscles.
Yep, and right now this is a huge chance for Akimbo to really start pulling away and clearing these rounds in their favor. 2-round lead, setting the pistol could really set you up for 4 rounds, 3 or 4 rounds, I should say, if you do prevail, as they're going to run it up mid.
Yeah, you saw all that attention down towards B. You saw the fights happening. Now even a leak in here through Cave, and that is going to be so unfortunate for Bunkin as Flixie just chimes right through. But now here's Akimbo. Oh my goodness, this is going to be crazy. Going exactly where they feel, right through B. Oh my goodness, Flixie, the secret agent, he actually has secured the site for them.
Oh, what? Nis hasn't stopped from the last round.
What?
He can't stop. The man clicks heads as he just goes like he's invisible. Nobody pays attention to him. They stare right at him, but they're shaking in fear. They can't even shoot the man.
Invisible? I don't know. This man might be invincible right now. The ending of those 2 rounds were insane, and this just keeps on going. But that right there was so convincing. I mean, they ran circles around their opponent and really just were able to do whatever they wanted straight into B to end things off.
Yeah, I said before, you have individuals that can have huge impact. Right now, we do see Florence struggling. He's currently sitting 4-8, but that's okay when you have Nis currently sitting 16-8, and that's what you need out of a very solid core and team in general. Is everybody's not always 100%. It's just not possible. We're human, but the fact that you can have teammates pick up that pace for you, drop 121 ADR, and still be up a 3, possibly 4 rounds.
Those that are there to pick us up when we're at our lowest all in. That is why they ride with him all the way. It's because they can depend on him in these moments, in these situations. But now in this situation, we're in this 4v4, and now Core, oh, you're just one lucky deagle shot from pulling this back to your side. But the chips have been stacked to the B site, but it looks like Akimbo will look to challenge.
Smack 10 going to have to put up a lot of work here for Florence. He's going to have to contest with 3 players initially. Everyone's pretty much looking at him. Bunk looking, favoring towards ramp, but ooh.
Wow.
Vulcan almost comes out with the timing there. That's just Florence. Now they clear out Bunk as well, and it's going to be a pretty safe round, I dare say, here, as 4 going to spray through with the Deagle, land his shots here, but nothing too wildly painful, as it's now a 2-on-4 post plant, no defuse kit, and they're just going to go for some damage and some exits at this point.
Yeah, both of those players still sticking around, trying to get some damage on it. Crispy, not as committed as Core, but will just try and match that energy. Now just ripping back in, a nice headshot back, and now still kicking around for a minute. There is Nox to clean you up. 4-round lead for Akimbo. They are back.
Yep, and that's exactly what the pistols, winning the pistols can provide you. You know, winning 2 in a row sets it. Doesn't matter what the other CTs have at this point. You have a solid lead. Just keep going, keep chipping away at it. Even if you can't win, you have to at least take 3 players with you. Keep that economy low for these CTs. Don't ever let them get that op that they want. And right now, we're seeing a low utility buy and only 4 rifles. The only person to have utility has an MP9 currently.
MP9 indeed, but now Core, he's gonna meet him at the door, and that is Nice to open it up. Not asking very nicely, but continuing on. That is illegal. That is not allowed, but really has not turned it off since the half has started. Nice, this is just unstoppable.
They're not even going to bother playing the bomb, surprisingly. But Frisbee making a show of it. Maybe that overconfidence coming to bite them. Not bringing that bomb with you would have been, well, important in a game type like this, but it is going to be Frisbee, 25 HP, vulnerable. But right now, he's looking pretty tough. Flixie on 2 HP, so this could very easily turn into a 1-on-1 situation where Florence will have to potentially find the kill. Frisbee still sticking around that B site, a little cautious of what could be.
Just holding it right here. Florence does get back on it. The timing is just going to have to be saved. Frisbee approaching from Donut now, potentially. We'll try and clear out middle, though.
No kit, no chance. This is a pretty important round. But it is gotten a little, maybe too close.
Oh, he's leaking in. Florence, you hear the tap, and that is going to be an easy back to hit. Double digits found. The Lost Hills, they have been drowned. Only 3 more for Akimbo to find before they can collect their win number 5.
And they're looking to have that momentum in their favor. The CTs broke, but they're going to force in anyway. 1M4, a Deagle, MP9 rifle getting thrown. Nope. Maybe it's a half, but they don't know. Ever since the fact that you can buy, sell, but a hero shotgun? I don't know about that, Vulcan. And a hero MP9. So 3 out of the 5 players buy. This is feeling like a pug match.
Certainly so. And I mean, honestly, with the auto shotgun, maybe peculiar, but effective. Effective is the main thing you will notice. But oh, there is the damage already happening. And now Vulcan, your opportunity maybe to try and pop something through these smokes is just going to be drowned out by Nis. And that will be very, very impressive to take care of a couple of those ecoers before they even show their face. But now a couple players around the corner, Core to be put down, but really just gonna have to be regrouped up. Bunkin just knocked out of the sight. My goodness, this is just illegal coming in here against these upgraded pistols. You might as well have bought nothing. I mean, this is insane.
Yeah, I mean, I see what Lost Hills trying to do, play for, at this point, you need the rounds. So there was an investment, realizing that the loss bonus is there for you. It's okay. You can put in a little more than you might be a little comfortable with because you're playing at such a deficit. You have to almost gamble at this point. But maybe you would have been better off just gamble stacking a site. Flixie, well, Frisbee, 1 out of 3 shots. But either way, it is gonna be a 11-5 game, and it really is Akimbo Esports stretching their legs. And it's Nis stretching out his kill count as well, 22 and 10, as he's a good game, yes, a comfortable, and I dare say he might be having fun.
Hey, a good game for most is a average game for Nis. Right now, he's putting it on, and he's really reminding us of everything that he can accomplish here with just his crosshair. But now, Katie, going to be knocked out early. Maybe we can call upon Nis to try and pick up the pieces. And there you go. What you get, it's what you see.
You know, I'm going to go with the typical Icy saying of, hey,
Oh boy.
I got my one. And which Nis has consistently been getting. The man gets a kill a round here. Statistically more than a kill a round currently. And it doesn't matter nades or not. Smokes won't stop him. The man just needs to, a few clicks to the head makes the man disappear.
Certainly so. Or one shot off of the big green. But I don't even know if they're going to let Crispy have a chance in this one. Florence flash up into the right. Still a fight to be had here at Cave. Just one smoke, just one timing. Here it comes down to Core, who will find this, and that is going to be a rare moment where you find that gunfight going your way. But now Nox actually upsetting that one. Brashy survives it barely. Gonna be able to get that one across, and now a late advantage for the defense.
Yeah, and 33 seconds left on this clock. Florence and Flixie, I think are they just gonna try and save at this point? 25 seconds. They're not really giving themselves much time. They have the utility get on the site, and they're only down a man, but 20 seconds is gonna be cutting it close, especially when they have B site fully cleared on the outside map. We're gonna see a player rotate in. Crispy holding with this op. 11 seconds left. Here comes the execute. Clears the first shot. Takes down one. It's down to a 1-on-2. But Flixie, no time. And he's going to be flanked here momentarily. But again, damage matters. But with 2 left alive, the CT is starting to build up something. Whether it's a comeback, it's yet to be determined.
Yeah, we'll see if they really decide to get up on the same horse that Akimbo did really towards the end of their defensive side. But I think we're going to be seeing a tech called out here. So a little bit of a pause we're going to see. And I mean, a chance to breathe for these guys all in after really what is just Akimbo ripping off so many of these rounds. Really, you get this round 1, and then now you have a chance to talk about it. These guys, they've got to really look to what worked in that round, because hey man, I mean, with the MR12 you're not going to have a huge sample size entirely, but really you got to just find something, find an opportunity.
Yeah, and we are going to see the main character, the protagonist, disconnect from the server. He should be back, I'm sure, momentarily. But
he has to re-inject his cheats, everybody, to keep the show going. That's what's happening in the script, if you were paying attention.
That might not be happening. The script does say Akimbo is to win the follow-up round here. So if you guys are all following along, pull up your booklets if you do have one.
Sorry, I was looking at next week. So my goodness, I'm all over the place.
You're such a silly man. But you can always make sure to share with your person if you guys have to. Just, lean in closer to your buddy next to you, and we can all read the script together. This is going to be a 13-7 victory at the end of the night.
Think back to your high school acting class. Not enough packets to go around, but we all gotta know.
I never acted, dude. We didn't have that in my high school.
What, back in the 1850s? Come on, man.
I hate it here. I get constantly disrespected for just being alive longer than the rest.
Were you taking, like, How to Start a Colony 101?
Listen, dude. I literally probably graduated when you were born. That's the sad part.
It's okay. The wisdom you bring to these casts is enough, but hey, man, maybe Nice is gonna need a little bit of computer wisdom. Who knows if we are going to be getting back into this thing shortly. Am my caster cursing him into reconnecting? I don't believe so. We're going to be throwing it to an intermission here for just a moment while we try to find out more about what's going on.
When I saw you again, I knew I wanted you, but I had to hide it. 'cause I have grown strong without you around. I've just gotta fight it. I don't wanna go, don't wanna fall into your arms again. Don't wanna give you everything I have and see you walk away. Don't wanna fall into your arms again. Don't wanna be reminded of the pain and the love of yesterday.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is back in the server, and we are back in this thing going all in. I'm so excited for Akimbo to get this thing going, but so is Katie, and is showing it a nice opening kill on the Bunkin.
Yep, first 10 seconds from that unpause, already a man advantage, and uh-oh, I made a whoopsies. Okay, there. I had my map pop up, and it wouldn't go away. Either way, Core taking the fight towards Donut. Flixie jiggle peeking the absolute living hell out of this man, but he's going to back up into Florence possibly. They're going to boost one up. Flixie eventually does secure the kill. And
Vulcan.
Rotate in. Oh, no.
Lining them up, shutting them down, and now might get caught out of the round. 2 kills, the damage. Oh, continuing on. Vulcan finding a third headshot, and now Nis almost lines him up himself. So now we were just talking about Florence during the pause. Maybe on a bit of a slow start in this one, but if they are able to win this clutch, all of that would be forgotten. 1v2, very winnable all in.
Yep, and it's going to be Florence making his way around, trying to divide these defenders here. And he might just have it, depending on where he peeks into, but Vulcan has tore that offense apart as he finds 4 just from the flank of Donut, puts himself into a great position, and it seems like maybe he doesn't have to use a shotgun to get the kills. He can rifle.
Certainly so. You know, we were actually coming to the point where we were actually, you know, Vulcan, maybe, you know, we're adding another position here, you know, IGL, support player, entry fragger, and then shotgunner. Vulcan, obviously not playing into that. Back onto the pistols for Akimbo, which we haven't seen them on in a very long time. Let's see him get jiggy with it.
Nope. Just going to play it safe. No need to really force around if not need to be. And Katie misses some shots, but makes up for it with the 1D. Is that confirmed 1D? Even if you do miss the first 2 shots, then they don't hit them?
Yes.
Well, can't argue with get the bag Marcus.
I'm looking at the official rule book as well. You know, in the NFL, there's a bit of a controversial, you know, what's a catch? You know, what's a 1D? Not a bit of a question over here. Oh my goodness. I just had flashbacks of the first half there from it coming back. Katie was the one that was exposed for it before, but there's your opening, and it may be your ticket to the Jolly Lands. Flixie, that is going to be a deadly angle, but the shadow is caught.
Lawrence playing contact here, gets the kill, and that's Vulcan out, doing some great damage through the smoke as well. Readjusting to a solid off angle. And he's going to be Brash. Low HP 33. He's going to run in first. Lawrence just farming him as Crisby lasts alive. 15 HP, 103. Does he have a chance? Well, there's always a chance, but that chance is starting to dwindle away, especially when they're tripled up in Donut. And he's going to go for the hero play.
Unfortunately, missed plays, but that knife.
No, and this.
Oh, that's gotta hurt all in right to the face, but also getting the uppercuts. That's gonna be nice. The bomb will not go off. Akimbo now. I was too. Internally, externally, it's all coming to fruition, but now you can take a breather because you're at match point.
And we take a look at this CT side economy, and it has seen better days, as it is going to be 3 MP9s, a Deagle, and an M4 with a handful of utility tossed in the mix.
Katie trying to get up into mid as per usual, but you see this control. It's out towards B, it's out towards A, not through it. You may be just trying to converge onto middle, but it's really going to have to be cocked up well.
As we are going to see Crisby try and jiggle for some, advantage here as Nis goes for the play he tried last time, which worked well last time. Not so much now. We are going to see a re-aggress from Katie. Gets the timing, finds the first one. It's going to be Vulcan still posted up inside of Jaguar.
Oh, and Nox, he's got to know about the jumping man with the plan. MP9 dropped to the floor. As now Akimbo, they look to find 3 more. Get this win underway. Maybe one last time at B.
They have pulled a lot of rotates. It's going to be Bunk by himself in Donut, the only one to hold that A site. 2 players, Core with the Deagle, and Vulcan, of course, with his designated rifle of choice. Still just being patient inside of it. Here comes the utility raining down like hellfire that it is. Core throws a nade, does some good damage. Still back sight, post up with the Deagle. Vulcan going quick on the flank here, but no one's going to clear out Core just yet. Katie gets the kill. It's a 2-1-4, sorry. And Vulcan going to play through the smoke here, gets some good timing, gets the kill towards Katie. Nade drops down, repositioned, but doesn't clear close. And Noxio clears it up, and that's a 13-7, and I'm pretty sure it's exactly what I said.
The predictions would reign true. The predictions would reign true. You know, besides the fact that, I mean, we were talking before the game, though. You know, maybe in a solemn universe, in a universe that makes sense most of the time, that's not this one, right? You see at the beginning of this game, right, the chance of that trap game bleeding through, that it might happen. You know, if they didn't snap that comeback in their first half, you know, this could have gone very differently. But all in, you know, Ancient could provide us some amazing games, and that one did not lack any of it.
Yeah, Nis stepping up huge, ending it off at 25-13. Like I said before, we touched on it before, Florence struggling, did start picking up that pace at the end, 9-12. But again, when you have teammates like he has backing him up, a bad performance can still be a good overall team performance, and that's really what you need. I have a team that is obviously making a great playoff push right now.
Certainly so, but we're going to be throwing it to an intermission for just a moment while we get a very, very special guest in here for the interview.
When I saw you again, I knew I wanted you, but I had to hide it. I had to hide it, 'cause I have grown strong without you around. I've just gotta fight it. I don't wanna go.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back again with Mr. Noah Flixie French, and he is fitted up with the shiesty. My man, you are undefeated in advance. How does it feel?
It feels expected, but good.
I would say so. I would say so. So going into Lost Hills tonight, obviously, you know, maybe playing Ancient for the first time in an official this season, maybe was a little lackluster at first on the CT side. What changed for you guys halfway through and led that comeback?
To be completely honest, we just stopped griefing. If we played how we did in scrims, we should have 16-0'd them. Like, every round was just that we lost was a mistake. And like a pretty blatant one, so once we cut those out, we were good.
There you go. There you go. It kind of looked like that from there on out, honestly.
It's true, and I mean, it really came down to the fact that we've seen a lot of you guys start, hitting the shots that you guys needed to actually, just starting to feel a little bit better. I mean, but after the end of that first half, I mean, we saw a nice solid clutch from this. Amazing. I think it was 1-on-3, 1-on-2, I forget. Going pistol. I mean, I mean, knowing that everything's MR13, has the pistol been a big focal point for you guys now?
I mean, pistol's always been a big focal point, but we're confident in our just individual aim because that's kind of what pistol rounds can come down to a lot of the time. So we haven't really put in any more time than we did in Go in them.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice. So obviously you're just playing through these best of ones right now. You're going to be doing that for probably the next 3 to 4 weeks out here in this little short season that we have. Does anything change going forward with you guys just forward through these best of ones? Are you really just waiting for those BO3s to get started?
It's a little hard to say right now. We're in talks with getting a coach right now. So
Awesome.
Once we get a coach, it'll probably develop our map pool to make it more defined because we're not really sure what our priorities are with our map pool right now.
Well, I mean, we were talking earlier, and we figured Lost Hill was probably going to give you guys at least a little bit better run for your money. I mean, I was kind of pulling for this win, obviously. 13-7, I'd say a dominant win. Going forward, I don't know how deep your schedule goes because, face it, sucks. Are you guys particularly looking at any team that maybe might cause a little more commotion?
I think the best team on our schedule right now is definitely Hound. And it's a little bit of a revenge match for me. I wish Tatum was playing in it, but
Yeah.
We're definitely looking forward to that game because they're someone that we view as another team that's kind of on the higher caliber this season.
All right, and you just kind of touched on the coach thing. So we got to talk to Florence last time, and obviously he was kind of talking about his experience being a Russian player in America, and, your former coach sort of being from sort of that experience, made him feel comfortable personally. So for you as an individual, maybe bringing in a new coach, what do you look for as an individual personally that you like to see really with just what your preferences are in a coach?
The big things I want from a coach are I want somebody that's going to be super positive and someone that can kind of lead an offline.
That sounds about right. I like that answer.
So currently you guys are feeling more like you're practicing to practice, not practicing with a reason behind it?
I mean, we have a good idea of what we're trying to practice because Katie in particular is really good at pointing out mistakes we're making in the scrims. What we're really lacking right now is kind of developing stuff within our defaults until we see it and can adjust. Whereas with a coach, we can kind of get a jump start on some of that stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, I love to hear this. And Flixie, it was another very, very good victory for you guys. But was it maybe just a little bit of a wake-up call that some of these teams can give you a little bit of trouble in these BO1s? Maybe don't take them too lightly. Obviously, on Tuesday, we saw that go, on Monday, I believe we saw that go into overtime. So really, how did the rest of the week go after that?
Honestly, our practice day yesterday was kind of lackluster. We were struggling to get really quality scrims on the maps we wanted. But really we just need to clean up the mistakes because when we're playing mistake-free Counter-Strike, we're rolling teams.
Certainly seems so. But All-In, do you have anything else for my man Flixie before we get him out of here?
No, man. I've got nothing at all.
Mr. French, do you have anything to say to the fans that have came out here and supported you guys tonight?
Yeah, shout out to Ping Disputes when you can pick between 20 servers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw the DC pick, and I was a little concerned with that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. They got the old ESEA, they got the ESEA servers in there, which I've heard are better. Is that true?
I prefer playing on them a little bit.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I've been going for those in my IM matches, been definitely helping me. But yeah, man. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, man. We're going to throw it to an intermission so we can get him out in a timely fashion. All in, unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. And unfortunately, this is going to be the end of our broadcast tonight. Another great interview by Flixie. And I mean, I love getting him on to the mic, just to check back in with him, from last week. We got to see what Florence was up to earlier on Monday. And I mean, getting to, talk to a couple different minds from the squad. Hopefully we get to meet the rest of the members throughout the rest of the season. But all in, honestly, when you're sitting 5-0, it's got to feel good.
Yeah, I mean, I say it pretty often as well. It's one of those things I always kind of revert back to is the fact that, CS is a lot of aim, a lot of training, a lot of practice, and all that stuff, but a good portion of it comes down to a mental and a strong mentality. And right now, 5-0, you're in that good headspace. Even if you take a loss, you're sitting comfortably still up in pretty good position to, at this point, I'd say damn near secure yourself playoffs. So there's a lot less stress you have to put on yourself mentally and physically as well. At this point, it's just refining it, going over what little mistakes you may have made. And like he said before, getting that coach could definitely put them and progress them a lot faster up that ladder. Just fixing those little mistakes where it's like, well, why did we do that? We cost us a round. Yeah, we won 13-7, but it could have been a 13-3.
No, exactly. And I mean, that's what's going to separate you from really making the difference next season. Obviously, you got to get those little things figured out right now. So if you get the opportunity to play in ECL, right, you will be a team that looks practice at an individual level. Because you know what? When we got to talk to Florence about his coaching preferences and the same thing tonight with Noah, I mean, these guys were just, it's clear that they would like a coach. And I mean, with the success that they had with one last season, I think that's going to be crucial to the roster. When that comes through, we don't really know. But when it does, we'll see its impact come probably throughout the next couple of weeks. And that's going to be an interesting thing. I think coaching is a big aspect of Counter-Strike. You can sort of hit a wall individually. And I mean, unless you have that experience, that Nice or Katie or Flixie do have, it's hard to see those things out in the scrim. But I'm really glad to know that they are looking into it because I like I said, I'm a very big fan of getting that staff in there to help. But all in, is there anything you want to say to these guys that have brought us back? Akimbo, they are such a pleasure to cast.
Yeah, I mean, it's always just an amazing performance out of this team. Solid roster. I really hope, they stick together through this season, hopefully advancing forward, upwards. But again, securing that coach is going to give you that outside perspective that every team direly needs, because a team of 5 players all wanting to point a finger, it just tends to be an echo chamber sometimes. And you need that outside perspective to, move yourselves forward. And when they do, we're going to see, more than just a team that's dominating, and you're going to see a confidently dominating team that, brushes off teams that maybe before could have given them a little bit of harder time.
Certainly so. But I believe they're going to be coming back next week with another double match week, getting it through. But they're going to have a couple days to rest, and so will we. For at least a little bit, coming back to the Akimbo cast. All in and I will probably be back before that. But ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure to be here for Akimbo Esports again. Like All In said, I mean, it's always a great pleasure covering these guys because of the story that unfolds out in front of us in the server. I mean, it almost just tells itself. These guys are very impressive. But, thanks so much to the org. You guys it's honestly an amazing org. To pick a roster up like this, I mean, that needed a home so dearly. So, honestly, we say it every week, but thank you so much. But this has been an LCA broadcast production. My name is Get the Bag Mark. I've been here with All In Gaming 23, and we will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your night.